Hello everyone, it's that teacher here, and today's lesson is going to be on subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. Let's start learning. Welcome back to our channel everyone, thank you for tuning in to today's lesson. Now today's lesson we are going to ramp the difficulty up from our previous lesson on subtracting fractions. Now the first thing we need to understand in order to do this is something called the lowest common multiple. Now the lowest common multiple is the smallest number that is a multiple of two or more numbers. Now I'm going to explain that. First of all, if you're not sure, a multiple is basically like your times tables of a given number. So I have written down the first few multiples, the first few series in your times tables of the number 3. I'm also going to do the same thing for the number 8. Now the lowest common multiple, so think of it like this. We have the 3 times tables and the 8 times tables. The lowest common number or common multiple that is shared by both the 3 times tables and the 8 times tables is the number 24. So if you look at all of the numbers on the screen, none of them are the same. So as you can see, as the multiples go up, the only number that is common, that is the same between the 3 and the 8, is the number 24. So the lowest common multiple here is going to be the number 24. Now, if you had a different times table and you had a lower common multiple, that would be the lowest common multiple. So hopefully that helps you in understanding what the lowest common multiple is, because we are going to use it in the questions coming up now. So our first question here is 1/2 take away 1/3. Now, when the denominators are different, as you can see on the screen, so the fraction on the left, we have the 2 as the denominator, and the number on the denominator on the right-hand side is the number 3. So they are not the same. So the first thing we need to do here is find the lowest common multiple between the numbers 2 and 3. So you need to think all the different times tables, when do they line up and have the lowest common number between the two? So an easy way to do this, for a starter's point, you could just times the numbers. 2 times 3, which will give you the number 6. That's just a little tip, but sometimes there will be lower common multiples, so make sure you double check. However, in this case, we have 2, 4, 6. So that we hit the 6 there, and we have 3 and 6. So as you can see, we hit the 6. It is a common multiple. It is the lowest common multiple. So we're going to put it in the left-hand corner here. Now, we have to make our denominators equal the number 6. So 2 times 3 is going to be 6. Now remember, whatever you do to your denominator, you need to do the exact same thing to your numerator. So 3 times 2 is going to be 6. Now I've done the denominators first because you need to do the exact same thing to the denominator of the same fraction. I'm going to show you what that means here. So don't get them confused. Whatever you do to the denominator of your fraction, regardless of if there's 2, you need to do the same thing to that fraction's numerator, just like this. So the 1/2 here, we've times the 2 by 3. We need to times the 1 by 3, our numerator here, by 3. Now on the other fraction, we have 1/3. We have times the denominator by 2. We need to times that fraction's numerator by 2. So hopefully that's clear and easy to understand. Now the next thing I highly recommend in your workbooks at school is I highly recommend that you find a place in your workbook where you can rewrite this fraction neatly. This will eliminate any silly mistakes that often occur when your working out is all over the place. So I'm going to show you what that looks like on the screen. So work out your times tables here. So your 1 times 3 is going to be 3. Work out the other side. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. And now that our denominators are the exact same, we can go ahead and just subtract the numerators, because as you know, the denominators stay exactly the same when you're subtracting fractions. So now let's work with our numerators. 3 take away 2, that answer is going to be 1. Your fraction here is 1/6. I'm going to show you that a few more times just so we can consolidate your understanding. Now we have the new Question here, 3 over 5 take away 1 over 4. Now what is the lowest common multiple between the numbers 5 and 4? Remember, always try by just timesing them together because that is a strategy which is going to work. So let's see. If we times 5 and 4 together, we get the number 20. Now, if you go through your multiples of the number 5 and the number 4, you will find out that this is in fact the lowest common multiple of the numbers 4 and 5. So we need to make our denominators equal 20. 5 times 4 is going to be 20 and 4 times 5 is going to be 20. Now remember, whatever you do to your denominators, you need to do the same thing to your individual fractions numerator. So just like this. So on the left hand side, we have times that denominator by 4. We need to times that numerator by 4, so 3 times 4. On the other side, we have multiplied the denominator by 5. We need to multiply that numerator by 5, so you can see they're different. Now, find a clear space in your book for your working out. 5 times 4 is going to be 20. 3 times 4 is going to be 12. 4 times 5 is going to be 20, and 1 times 5 is going to be 5. Now remember, your denominators stay exactly the same when you're subtracting fractions. The only thing you're going to need to worry about here is the numerator. So 12 take away 5 is going to equal 7. Your fraction here, your answer here is 7 over 20. I'm going to show you one more time just so we can fully consolidate your learning and understanding. Our new fraction here is, our new question here is 3 over 6 take away 2 over 5. So the lowest common multiple between the numbers 6 and 5 is going to be 30. Remember that trick, it works in these larger numbers. Just always double check, of course, but it's an easy little way to find the lowest common multiple. But like I said, always double check, especially with smaller numbers. So 6 times 5 is going to be 30. 5 times 6 is going to be 30. Remember, whatever you do to that fraction's denominator, you need to do the same thing to the numerator. 3 times 5 is going to be 15, but we're going to work that out later. And 2 times 6 is going to be 12. So I'm going to now find a new part of your book to work this out nice and neatly. 6 times 5 is going to be 30. 3 times 5 is going to be 15. 5 times 6 is going to be 30. And finally, 2 times 6 is going to be 12. Remember, our denominators stay the same. We only subtract the numerators. 15 take away 12 is going to be 3. Now, this is where you can get yourself into a little bit of strife. This is not the final form that this fraction can achieve. We always need to simplify whenever you can. It's a great rule that I teach the students in my class. Whenever you can simplify, you need to. So you need to think, what is the largest number that can divide into both the numbers 3 and the number 30? So 1, of course, can divide it into any whole number. 2 cannot be divided because it would be uneven, there would be remainders. It needs to be completely even. Let's try the number 3. So 3 can be divided by 3, of course, and you need to double check that 3 can also be divided by 30, and it can. So let's divide both our numerator and denominator by the number 3 to simplify that fraction. So 30 divided by 3 is going to be 10, and 3 divided by 3 is going to be 1. So your proper answer, your more correct answer, your simplified answer is going to be 1 over 10. So like I said, always simplify when possible, because in some schools, you may only receive half the marks if you did this on a test, or your teacher might actually mark you completely incorrect, which we don't want if you've gone through all that effort to work out the question and you get stuck on a little simplifying fraction bit. Just always make sure you simplify and you have no problem at all. Now, I have put some questions for the students to do at home. So pause the screen here, get a piece of paper, get a pen, work it out, follow the tips and tricks that I've given you. If you need anything, rewind the video to consolidate your understanding. And I know that if you follow what we've said in the video, you will have a high level of success. Now, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for tuning into the channel. I really appreciate it. Let's dive straight in to your answers. So here are the answers for the questions that the students were doing at home. Thank you very much for watching today's lesson on simplifying fractions. It's that teacher. We'll see you in the next lesson.